Well, good evening, everyone. Anthony Gambale here, and today on this webinar, whether you're watching it live or perhaps a recording, we're going to be reviewing the Dreams Business Resources a platform. And Dreams is actually it's an acronym. It's not dreams like I'm sleeping and dreaming. The D is for debt management. Okay, the R is for retirement. The E is for expense management, A is for assets, M is for marketing, and S is for security. For both you as an individual as well as the people that we represent, these are kind of the things that we strive for. Okay, this is a quick montage of some of the platforms that we're going to be talking. We have like a half a dozen more coming. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the very first one, and that is going to be the ERC. But we're going to go through a quick synopsis of all the platforms. So first thing is the employee retention credit, okay, and R&D credit, which is R&D stands for research and development. Okay, on the ERC, the employers can receive up to $26,000, per employee, W-2 employee that they have on payroll there. And as a representative with us, you receive anywhere between 4 and 7% commission on their total refund credits. We'll talk about that in a little bit here. Also, we have the self-employment tax credit, also known as the FFCRA, which is the Family First Coronavirus Response Act. Here's where we go into self-employed individuals, right? So ERC is for corporations, businesses that have 4 or 5 more employees that are not family members. They have to be true employees. Self-employed individuals are 1099 Schedule C individuals who also file the SE form on their taxes, okay? And they can receive up to a maximum of 32,000 per individual, doubling to 64,000 if you have a husband and wife who are both self-employed, okay? And then we have Champion Health. Okay, so the ERC is a refund on payroll taxes, right? Social Security, Medicare. Champion Health is a continuation of payroll tax savings for the employers that they are not taking advantage. It's under Section 125 of the Internal Revenue Code there. And under that platform, not only does it put money in the employer's pockets, but the employees also receive a substantial increase in pay as well as health and wellness benefits. It really reminds you of Blue Zones. We'll talk a little bit about Blue Zones. If you've got Netflix, you may have seen the docu-series. Quite enlightening. It really truly is. And then we have Insperity doing HR solutions. So Insperity and Champion Health are intertwined with each other. We'll talk a little bit about that as we get a little bit deeper in. And then cloud computing with Stream PC. We're helping businesses and even individuals, especially in financial services. If you're a financial service representative or an insurance agent or a financial professional, right? States are mandating that you have cyber security so your computer can't get hacked and you lose sensitive data. That could be a big problem for you financially when it comes to data breaches. This is where Stream PC comes in. This is cloud computing. Then we have working capital. What's working capital? It is really the life and blood of a business, right? If a business does not have working capital, I don't care how many orders they have coming in, they're dead, right? Working capital. And the last thing we'll talk about is holistic financial services, helping the business owner manage their business and their personal, and how those two come together, getting them the maximum that that they can receive for their own financial, well-being. So we're all about helping the small business, small to mid-sized business, right? We're not looking to give a CEO a big fat check or a bonus or like that, right? We want to make sure that the local family can send their kids to karate class and dance lessons and stuff like that. My wife was a PTA president for several years, and when she did her staff appreciation day, she went to local businesses within the community to donate food, right? Restaurants, just about everyone in town donated to Staff Appreciation Day for each school. You know, you got elementary, you've got middle school, you've got high school, junior high school, and my wife ran a lot of those events, and so we support local businesses because local businesses support us in our community, right? So what is the ERC and how does it work? So let's rewind. Let's go back to 2020, March of 2020, when the federal government said, "Hey, everybody, there's a pandemic going on. We want everyone to go home to flatten the curve," right? My kids called me up from college, said, you got to come pick us up. We got to get off of campus tomorrow," right? It was that abrupt, right? It was really abrupt. So when that happened, they passed legislation where not only businesses, but individuals, just regular people got stimulus money, right? So if you were an employer or an employee at that time, or if you were working, you may have received money in your checking account, depending on how you file your taxes. Just this COVID stimulus. Businesses also got stimulus, right? There was two available at that time. First one was PPP, which is the Payroll Protection Program, and businesses filed for these loans. They were loans, okay, and they pretty much gave them to anyone who could fog a mirror. And the second one was the Employee Retention Credits, okay. Now, between these two, there is a coordination of benefits. So for 2020, employers could get $5,000 per employee that they had working for them. And for 2021, for 2021, it's 21,000. So that's where the 26 comes in. Okay. So what it was, here's that Social Security Medicare that I was talking about earlier. It's tax credits that we're giving back for payroll for Social Security and Medicaid. Okay. Now, unlike the PPP, remember that was a loan initially that had to be repaid back, but then they came out with forgiveness, right? You could apply for loan forgiveness, and just about everyone I spoke to had their loans forgiven. I'm talking loans that are some are in the multiple seven figures, right? $2, $3, $4 million loans forgiven. Okay. Now they were earmarked. So what earmarked means is they said, okay, here's your PPP loan. 40% of this loan has to go to payroll. 20% has to go to infrastructure, keeping your business going, right? And a small percentage you can keep for yourself. The ERC is not earmarked, right? So if that employer got a check for $1 million and they decided to go buy a boat or property, whatever, or another home, a vacation home, they could do that, right? There's no restrictions on that money. Okay. There's a 941, which is their quarterlies, and then there's a 941X, which that gets amended, make corrections on those two lines, 18 and 26. And then, of course, supporting documents also must go in for that as well. Okay. So many people, why work with us? Why work with Dreams Business Resources and Legacy Tax Resolution Services? Legacy Tax, they are the company that are going to be doing the amended returns for the ERC. Okay, they're going to sign the documents. The owner is not only a CPA, but he is a tax attorney and a tax resolution specialist. They have over 20 locations scattered throughout the country. It's not some small, mom and pop shop. It's a large company. They have huge staff. They have forensic accountants, compliance specialists, a team of tax attorneys, and most importantly, they have enrolled agents. So an enrolled agent or is someone who worked for the Internal Revenue Service at one point and they retired, but they retain their relationship with the IRS. Okay. They have the ability to log into their systems, to communicate with them, to work on their behalf, to represent our clients as a go-between between the individual and the IRS. They have that ability to do that. Okay. We also maximize the returns doing wage balancing for highly compensated employees. That's how we get that 17 to 20,000 per employee for the ones who filed for the PPP, because you have to coordinate those benefits, right? It's just not here's 26,000, have a nice day, right? If they had PPP and they got that money, that must get calculated into the full refund, right? So we want to make sure that they're going to get, the maximum. So here's examples of, an ERC refund and how it works, right? So we've got maximum of 26,000 per employee, okay? And now we're going to talk about the commissions, right? So the whole theme of this webinar is, how to make seven figures, right? How to make seven figures this year and then perhaps duplicate it in subsequent years. And this is the first vertical we're going to be talking about. So here's our first company here, right? That has 10 employees. They get a refund of $200,000, right? The compensation starts at 4% or 8,000. Okay, so that would be the commission. Not bad for just referring a business to us to do the ERC. Okay, so what are we not doing? We're not selling anything. We are giving information. We are giving money, right? You're walking into that business with a possible $200,000 check, right? If it is a 20-person group, it's 400,000. If it's 30, it's 6. If it's 40, it's 8. And of course, the commissions go up with that as well. Okay. If it's 50 employees, looking at $40,000, and this is just kind of the beginning of the compensation grid. It does go up to a maximum of 6% for personal, and if you do team building, it can go up to 7. So we're talking about large numbers here. Like you get for a 50-person group, $40,000 is nothing to sneeze at. Okay, the second half of this, while we're doing their ERC, okay, we're going to be also looking to see if they qualify for research and development credits. Okay. You may have heard of on the news, XYZ company, they made 80 gazillion dollars last year, but they paid zero in taxes. How is that possible? How it's possible is they have research and development credits that go against taxes. Okay, so if they have $100,000 worth of taxes that need to be paid, and they've got $300,000 worth of R&D credits, they're not going to pay taxes. Okay, that money goes to them to continue to research and develop, hire more individuals, put more money into their business. And this is another thing we're going to be doing. So this whole platform is designed for you to put a client in and get multiple streams of income from one individual client, not just one and done. ERC is one and done. This is not one and done. R&D credits can and they can be quite large because you can go back 3 years. Again, you're looking at tens of thousands of dollars for some companies. Okay. So what it's again, it's for research and development, for them to retain employees, put more money into technology, develop more products, more goods, more services. The more they more do that, what the government wants is expansion of business. That increases payroll taxes, and they make more money in the long run in payroll taxes, right? So think about that. 98% of people qualify for this. It's actually quite lucrative here. Okay. Out of the $15 billion that was handed out on an annual basis, right? 85% of the market is not claiming it. Okay. 85%, 8.5 out of 10 businesses that qualify for R&D credits are not filing for these credits. And again, these are huge dollars here, right? Let's go to the next slide here. So now let's talk about the self-employment tax credit. This falls under the sick and family leave of the American Rescue Plan, right? FFCRA. These payments are, this comes from the same place where you get your regular taxes, right? If the government owes you money and you get a check, they did, some people did their taxes already, right? Or within the next couple of months, if you're going to get a check back from the federal government, it's coming from the same places where these checks come from. Okay, it's a refundable tax credit for those who are Schedule C employees, and typically right after the Schedule C is Form SE, okay, which stands for self-employment. So here's there's a law. This is public law, right? It's 116-127 FFCRA is what it's called. What are the qualifications for it? Okay. Basically, were you impacted by COVID-19? 2020, go home, everyone, right? 2 weeks to flatten the curve. All the kids go to school, stay home. That was it. My daughter's like, come pick us up. And I said to them, both of them, they were at the same school at the time. I said, pack everything you need for the next 3 months of school to the end of the semester, all your books, your computers, your calculator, anything you need for academics, bring home. And they thought they were going to be back in a week. I said, you're not coming back. And they didn't go back. And they didn't go back. So yeah, 2020 was easy, right? Child care, school was closed. Who got a cold? Who got sick? Illnesses, symptoms of illnesses, vaccines, how that worked out. Everyone was affected by the pandemic. So the maximum credit for a one individual person who's self-employed is 32,000. If I have a client who both husband and wife are self-employed. He works for a construction company. She has a marketing company. She also has a dance studio. She has a couple of businesses, but they both qualified, right? So that is $64,000, their maximum credit. Okay. And that's for those 2 years. So let's go. We also have flyers and handouts to build kits. In the event that you don't have them and you need them, just reach out to me at the end of the webinar. Put a note in the chat here. We'll get it to you. If you're watching this as a recording, feel free to reach out, because this will be housed on a web page, and my information will probably be up at the top or the bottom of the video. So let's talk about the ones who are going to be against you, right? Which are going to be the accountants and the CPAs, right? These are people who are really not knowledgeable about the ERC. I have a friend who lives in Chicago who has a good friend of his who is an accountant, and he said he had to study for 100 hours in order to be able to do ERC. So there's a lot of time. So if the accountant is saying not to file, chances are he doesn't want to file it because he doesn't know what he's doing, and he'd rather just shrug that person off. But they have a financial fiduciary responsibility to make sure that they represent their clients in a proper way for them to get this information. Okay, so I can see in a year or two from now, when ERC is done, all the law firms coming up saying, did your CPA tell you you didn't qualify for the ERC? You may be due substantial monies to negligence. Mark my word, you'll be seeing these commercials, right? So the CPAs are not our friends. They typically are against us, okay? Unless we get to educate them. So this is Stefan Brewy here. He's the owner of Legacy Tax. As I said, they've got over 20 locations nationally. You can see what they do at the top there. They're in all the associations. Like, he's a CPA. He is also a tax resolution specialist and a tax attorney as well, right? So we've got the best of the best representing our clients and for you for our clients to be seen, our agents. So let's talk about Champion Health. Okay, Mr. Client, Mrs. Client, we're glad we were able to get you your employee retention credits. What are you doing moving forward to help you continue to get tax benefits or tax breaks on your payroll taxes? And typically the answer is nothing. Okay. This is where Champion Health comes in. Okay. So the ERC, you get paid once and then you're done. But we want multiple residual streams of income, right? Multiple residual streams of income. This is going to be one of them. Champion Health. You need a health insurance license for this vertical. Not a big deal if you don't have it. You can get a license in a couple of weeks. It's not that big of a deal. I like this because of what's going on in the world right now in the country. Like I said, you got the blue zone thing going on, and Netflix are talking about that. Everyone, people living to 100 and what they're doing and how they're living to age 100. And a lot of it is preventative care and maintenance. Okay. My great grandmother used to say to me when I was young, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. I didn't understand it when I was a kid, but I get it now, right? And that's what Champion Health does. It helps these individuals who work for these companies get that ounce of prevention. Okay. And remember, the E in dreams is expense management. And this is where that comes in. So think of it like a first line of defense, okay, when it comes to healthcare. You've got your regular major medical, right? And that's a pool of resources that is managed and maintained by the health insurance company, okay? And they look at that as what what expenses is that going to incur, okay? Champion Health is the first line of defense to give the employee to take the everyday trip to the doctors and move it away from the health insurance benefits. In addition to that, it also helps them stay healthy. The employee gets coverage, meaning doctor's visits. They can go many times. They can go to their regular doctor like they would normally go to, but they just give the Champion card first instead of their primary card. Right? They get preventative care, all this kind of stuff. For the family, they get telehealth consultation. They get ER telehealth kind of thing, mental health, prescription coverage. They are even adding, believe it or not, pets. The veterinarian is coming on board this year. It's already here. So if your dog or your kitty is not doing too well, you can call the vet at 4 o'clock in the morning and say, "Hey, my cat's not feeling too well." And they'll walk you through what to do for your animal, which is pretty awesome. Okay. That which can be measured can be improved, right? We all know that. If you measure something, you can improve it. And that's what this is designed to do, is help an individual gauge and measure their own personal health, okay? And it puts them on a path to better health, just like the blue zones do. It puts you on a path to better health. And what does better health mean? Better health means that they don't use their regular medical benefits as much. And then at the end of the year, they go back and say, look at the claims history. You anticipated X, we had Y. So next year, we want a lower premium. There's the E in expense management. How does it work? Here is a check. This is what a payroll check looks like from an employer, from an employee who is on the Champ plan. On the left-hand side is the paycheck, right? The old paycheck. You can see weekly pay $1,000 and change, medical benefits and 401k, right? And then in red are the taxes. Almost $100, $30, 14, 60, so on and so forth. Net pay, 747. Now we put the Champion Health in there. If you notice, it's on the left-hand side of the payroll column. That is the pre-tax dollar side, meaning that comes off, then taxes are paid. Now we look at the right and you can see those numbers are lower, right? 60, 13, 10, 40, and 6. That lowers the taxes that the employer and the employee pay. So now the employee is paying less in taxes. But if you notice, this says Champion benefit of 233, right? That is an indemnity benefit that Champion Health reimburses to the employee. And because it's not income, right? It's an insurance indemnity benefit. It is not taxable. So the employee gets a paycheck bump, right? Almost $30 per pay or $123 a month, right? Not bad. What does the employer get? The employer gets almost $48 per employee or 500 and change a year. So think about this, right? We have a company, we did ERC, we got them money, right? Now we enroll them in Champion Health. They're going to save another $57,000 in tax savings for that year, right? That increases their EBITDA, their earnings before taxes, depreciation and amortization, which increases the value of their business with just a stroke of a pen. Then they take that $57,000 and they hire another employee, right? You're typically going to get at least 300% out of your employee. So let's just say they make $250,000, right? So they took this tax savings, right? And now they're ahead 300 grand, right? So this is kind of the velocity of money concept where money in motion makes money. And this employer can now make money by adding another employee to the employer pool without changing their expenses. Pretty amazing. That's where the expense management comes in. Okay. So who do you know that has Champion Health? So these are just a few companies that are currently involved with Champion Health. I want to talk about TDK for a moment here. We all remember TDK. Anyone who's, at least my age, in their 50s or so, you remember most of the tapes that we used back then were TDK, right? They obviously changed to different things now, but an agent that was doing Champion Health had a friend who worked at TDK, and that friend got him to in front of the board, and he did a presentation. And, it probably took like 8 or 10 months to finally get everything, said and done. But they had like 24,000 employees that are now on Champion Health. Okay. And that employee of that company is making close to 6 figures a month that his friend is paying him for getting him into the company. Win-win. So you may know someone who is either in or owns a big company. You can revenue share with them. You just have to do it right and legal. And guess what? Residual income again. Multiple streams of residual income. That's the concept here. And what you make in the first month, you make in the second, third, and the only people that drop this plan are companies that go out of business, right? No one's going to drop it because of the money that they're going to be saving. So Insperity. Insperity is HR solutions. It works hand in hand with Champ. Okay. This is the real neat thing. So let's say you're working with a company, you did the ERC for them. You talk a little bit about helping them with payroll taxes, whatever. Yeah. They get a little bit of interest. You can schedule a meeting on the Insperity calendar, right? They will meet with that client. They will present the solutions that they have, including Champion Health, right? So you don't even have to sell Champion Health. You don't have to present it. All you do is create the appointment, sit back, let them do it, let them close the deal, and then you get compensated for it. Pretty spectacular. Again, Insperity is another stream of residual income, right? How else are you going to get residual income, ladies and gentlemen? Are you going to write a song? Are you going to start a sitcom? Probably not. Probably not. Here you have the ability to do the same thing as those people do. Okay. So we have human resources. This is a PEO, professional employee organization. Okay. Insperity is one of the largest, actually the first and one of the largest, if not the largest in the country that does that. Employee benefits, they do payroll, the whole 9 yards. The big thing they do is mitigation. If someone puts in a complaint, sexual harassment, misconduct, they jump right on that and they resolve it quickly. It doesn't get put to the side where it blows up into something much, much bigger. We want our employers to be able to run their business and not worry about, the day-to-day operations, just focus on growth. Okay. Stream PC. What is Stream PC? We talked about cloud computing. Do you remember just not too long ago when they were talking about cloud? What was a cloud? What are they talking about? What does this mean, cloud? We didn't understand what they were talking about. It wasn't that long ago, right? Now everything has moved to the cloud, right? When you watch Netflix or any of those shows, it's all in the cloud. You don't got a tape anymore. You don't get a DVD, right? It comes from the cloud, right? So why not have cloud computing where your computer or the employer's computer is in the cloud, right? So they save on hardware, wear and tear, but more importantly, what they save on is threats, ransomware, loss of data, compliance, right? Remote flexibility. A laptop is lost on a train that has sensitive data. That could be catastrophic. A lost laptop could put a company out of business because the fine is per person on that. So if they have 10,000 customers and their information is on there, they get fined for each individual person's data that they lost. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars. Big, big money here. What is this again? Residual income based on per user, right? So not per company, per user. So you have a company that's got 30 or 40 employees and they got 40, portals. You get paid per portal, not per company, per portal. Pretty powerful. Again, another stream of residual income. Okay, here's a little video. Let me see if I can get this video to play. Hold on a second here. Let me see if I got my
continuously updated.
I'll just turn my camera off
and fully supported Windows computer for your business that would eliminate the need to ever buy another PC or laptop again and completely offload your IT headaches to someone else. Just like with streaming movies and music, these days almost everything your business needs is either in the cloud or moving there, whether it's email, HR, payroll, CRMs, legal, investing, or banking. Cloud computing is the way of the future because it's more reliable, more secure, and way more efficient than trying to manage things locally. The very last, most essential piece of your business to move to the cloud is the computer itself. Before now, this was beyond the reach of most small and medium-sized businesses due to the massive upfront cost and complexity of implementation. At Stream PC, we've made it our mission to level the playing field by making it cost-effective and easy for all businesses to get enterprise-grade cloud computing and enjoy all the security and efficiency benefits that go with that. Are you tired of the endless PC update and replacement cycle? A Stream PC all-in fixed monthly subscription provides fully supported cloud-based Windows PCs together with secure data storage for less than the cost of buying, managing, and supporting physical PCs over a 3-year lifespan. This completely eliminates the need for you to buy, set up, manage, or support computers and data security ever again. Your Stream PC is the last computer you'll ever need to buy. The setup process, which you'll see in a minute, is virtually as easy as pressing a button, and there are absolutely no upfront fees. One low monthly subscription price includes enterprise-grade security for small business that meets or exceeds any regulatory standards that your business might be subject to, including the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority and the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. Our ransomware technology blocks ransomware and cybersecurity attacks. You're in full control of what employees have access to, and all your files stay in the cloud, so there's never a risk of a lost or stolen device compromising your sensitive documents. Because all the apps and files live in our secure cloud server, users can access their personalized Stream PC Windows desktop from any device via secured internet connection, so they can work from anywhere and at any time. This is a huge advantage to companies that wish to enable their employees to work remotely. To enable you to see it with your own eyes, we've put together a quick demonstration of how cloud computing with Stream PC works. Cloud computing with Stream PC starts with a quick onboarding call. The goal of the call is for us to understand your requirements, including applications, storage needs, and a list of all employees. We'll then go to work to build the perfect computers located in our Stream PC data center and provide you with all the support and training seminars to get you up and running as quick as possible and without hiccups. When it's time to get work done, customers sign into their Stream PC account from any device they already have, PC, Mac, or tablet, or use pre-configured low-cost mini PCs called thin clients that work like Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, or Google Chromecast to stream TV and movies. From the customer's perspective, they are simply working on a Windows PC with all of the features and apps they are used to working with. The only difference is that the computing is all done in the cloud and streamed to their device, just like watching Netflix or listening to Spotify. We take care of all your technical questions or problems. Our fully staffed help desk is only a phone call away. All Stream PC customers gain access to our StreamWorks website, which gives you an easy way to add or remove employees, block employees from access to critical apps or data, and reset passwords. Or you can always call our help desk and we'll do it all for you. Stream PC is a fully managed service, so we handle all the IT headaches like upgrading your cloud PC, keeping it on and always available, deploying security patches, updating to new app versions, and updating the operating system. Our goal is for you to offload all your IT headaches onto us, so you can just focus on the success of your business. That's the Stream PC difference. To find out how Stream PC can work for you, book a call with one of our advisors now by clicking the button below. We'll show you how much money you can save and just how easy it is to switch to Stream PC. We'll also create a free trial account so you can experience the power and convenience of Stream PC cloud computing for yourself. You don't need a fully staffed, expensive IT department to have enterprise-grade computing. No more endless computer updates, no more buying PCs, no more dealing with technical issues and downtime. All your computing needs are done for you at one low monthly price with no setup fees, and we can have you up and running in just minutes. Are you tired of IT wasting your precious time and energy, distracting you from the activities that truly make your business successful? Are you ready to access?
We've all gone to restaurants or shopping centers, and they're set up for people with disabilities, right? You go into the bathroom, there's a stall, a low sink, wide doors, right? There's parking for a handicapped individual as well. But what you may not be aware of is that the American Disabilities Act also requires businesses' websites to be handicap accessible. But you didn't know that, right? And this has been around for several years, but really hasn't been enforced. So when you think of handicap accessible website, you're probably thinking, what on earth, what is that all about, right? So one is it has to be seizure safe for people who have, issues with seizures, vision impaired, ADHD, cognitive impairment, people who can't use the keyboard, motor functions, blind, all these things need to be in place. So what's this? If you look at this screenshot here, in 2018, 2,285 websites were sued, or companies were sued because they were not compliant. This is the next biggest thing that's coming out. This is new to the platform. Again, it is a residual income thing here. You get paid per company, and the bigger the company, the more the compliance is, and the more the more hoops that they have to jump through, right? Disabilities problem, 1 out of 4 people are disabled, right? So here's another short video. We'll play this as well.
Imagine if 90% of the websites or mobile
There you go.
apps you use today locked you out. Everyone else continues to experience the convenience of mobile banking, the connectedness of social media, and the freedom of online shopping. But for you, they're inaccessible. For the 57 million people with disabilities in the United States, this is their everyday experience. People with visual, auditory, motor, speech, and cognitive disabilities rely on various assistive technologies and alternate methods of interaction to use digital documents, web, and mobile apps. People with visual disabilities may rely on screen readers, braille displays, zoom functions, or high-contrast colors to get value from what's displayed on screen. People with auditory disabilities often rely on captions or transcripts for video content. People with motor disabilities might require speech-to-text software or keyboard-only interactions. People with speech disabilities require a non-vocal means of interaction. And finally, people with cognitive disabilities often require thoughtful and organized layouts with clear direction. Digital accessibility is the practice of making digital documents, web, and mobile apps accessible to everyone, including people with disabilities. Accessible sites and apps are perceivable, operable, understandable, and robust. Building accessible sites or apps can be tricky without the right guidance. The Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, or WCAG, published by the W3C, is the standard rule set that defines what makes a site accessible. Developers, testers, app owners, and accessibility experts from around the world rely on these standards for proper accessibility testing direction. In fact, many U.S. federal government agency sites and apps are required by law under Section 508 to be accessible. This law includes the WCAG standard. In the U.S. and European Union, WCAG is being adopted across private sector businesses as well. Whether you're following legal requirements or proactively working to make the web a better place, practicing digital accessibility makes a real difference for millions of people. Imagine if 90% of the web...
So there you go. So now we're sticking with technology here. This is another technology here with Let's Chat. So what is Let's Chat, right? 20% of the American population, people that live in this country, don't speak the language or more, right? So what happens when they interact with businesses? You know, what happens when they go to, order pizza or go to a website and they don't speak the language, right? So what Let's Chat is, it's an on-demand site translation system, okay? It could be website, it could be live talking. A lot of big companies are using it. Restaurants are starting to use it. NFL is using it. Comcast is using it. And once again, you get paid as these websites and these companies are doing these translations after they hit a certain credit for the month, right? You start getting paid per impression, right? I think I've got a video on this one too to kind of explain that. So let's play that.
I've traveled all over the United States, all over the world, been to 24 different countries, and everywhere I traveled, we had a language barrier. And so that really inspired us to create Let's Chat.
Let's Chat specializes in real-time language translation solutions and innovations. We do anywhere from video, VOD subtitling, so pre-recorded content, to websites, mobile apps, chat support, phone calls, text messages.
And more importantly, they do video subtitling translation, and they can even do live translation. So potentially taking a live broadcast feed and translating it on the fly at that moment.
It's 98.7% accurate. It's faster. It's 104 different languages.
So it's not based off where you're located, it's based off of what you prefer to see in it. And that's a really big deal because a lot of the other companies that do translation are based off your IP address, so where you're physically located.
So we can, essentially put their solution onto our websites, and when the user comes and whatever language their device is set in, they're going to start to see our content in that language, which is phenomenal. That's something we can't do right now, so it's really opening up a completely new audiences.
People always said golf is niche. How are we going to get all different types of people and age ranges and whatever? But the ability to translate that over, we know, is massively powerful. So if we can get a hold of new populations, that'd be great too.
One of our clients is the NFL.
So we actually last season did all of the video subtitling for the NFL Game Pass.
Watson, and he goes down. No, he stays on his feet, throws on the run, touchdown!
So the ability to go and show to people that speak another language internationally as well as here, it really helps a lot.
This year we're launching a new streaming service, Sky Showtime, in 22 territories across Europe. So we're taking the best content from Peacock, NBCU, Sky, Viacom, CBS and Showtime. That doesn't all come in all European languages.
Timmy Tanga! These pillows are filled with baby birds.
And the subtitle and translation services they offer could be a game changer for us.
Chimichanga. Estas son ofertas esterchis de pasos, baby.
We're able to translate all of their content. Really, we can translate 2,000 plus videos, all any length of time, in a matter of seconds, if not minutes.
Thanks to a lot of the partners in this accelerator program is they actually want a new product from Let's Chat, and so we created a deepfake technology.
We'll find out next, live on WWE Raw.
So it'll change the mouth and change the audio into the native language of the viewer.
Send attention be Dalek ELW, WE Comedy.
Or whatever languages they wanted, coming out in the actual voice of the speaker. It's a lot of fun, especially seeing our clients' faces when they're like, whoa, I can now translate my website. I can translate my customer interactions. My VOD content is now translated. And seeing customers interacting with what I built is just the greatest thing I could have experienced.
You know, that is really, that's super powerful. We are right now at the beginning of the next burst of technology. You've probably been hearing a lot about AI the last year, more so the last quarter of 2023. It's really getting exponential. It really truly is. And this coming year, you're going to see it really impacting everything that you do. Artificial intelligence. And so right now you could really be you can ride this wave that's already going and create another stream of revenue for yourself, residual revenue, right? Making money while you sleep. Bank Breezy is the next thing we're going to be talking about, right? Working capital. Working capital is the blood of small business, small to mid-sized business. I don't care how much business they have coming in or accounts receivable. If they don't have cash flow, they're dead. Many businesses went at it that were blowing up. When I mean blowing up, I mean orders coming in and they just couldn't execute it because they just didn't have the capital and they imploded on themselves, right? Bank Breezy gives people the ability to get cash quickly. The problem is the banking system right now in 2023 and 2024 has shrunk. They're not lending like they used to lend because of interest rates are high and credit is tough. That's one of the biggest things we hear with individuals out there is they just can't get financing, right? Only a small fraction, 20% of businesses out there qualify. What about the 80% that don't? That's where we could come in here with Bank Breezy, and we can help them get the funding that they need to continue their business moving forward. Okay. And here's that 80% we just talked about. It's relatively easy. It's all online. It's working capital. It's the lifeblood of the business. In and out, money going in and out, allowing that business to continuously move forward. The entire platform is done online. It's not like typical credit. It doesn't work on your credit score for the most part. It works on your business volume, right? How much money do you have coming in on a monthly basis? How much is hitting your bank account on a monthly basis? It's a relatively easy thing. They load their bank statements up to prove what they get, and they can get from $2,000 to $2 million. We're talking, quite a bit of money here, right? For businesses. And this lady here that's doing that hair can get up to $10,000 in 10 minutes before that hair is probably even done, especially if she's getting highlights. It's going to take a lot longer than 10 minutes, right? She can get money in her bank account, and it'll be there before that lady gets off that chair. That's how quick, right? In addition to that, we've got people who do side gigs. I was talking to a teacher just the other day who has a side gig, right? She does event planning and she goes in and decorates and, does that kind of stuff, does all the frou-frou things. And I was telling her back there, she was like, that's pretty interesting, right? Because, she was struggling with money. There you go, right? Online application, it's quick, and they pay commissions daily, right? You don't have to wait till the 15th or the 1st. If a loan funds yesterday, you'll get paid today. If another one phones tomorrow, you'll get paid the next day, right? So here you can actually earn an income or you can actually survive and live just on this one vertical alone. And what happens when these employers pay that loan off? They typically do it again, right? We're seeing 5 and 6 time repeaters doing this. And guess what? You get paid every time they do it, as if it was the first time. Once again, residual income with Bank Breezy, with the gig workers. Okay. So the theme of the webinar here is, making 6 figures. I showed you tons of ways of doing it. So let's boil it down to just one vertical, which is the ERC, right? So now we're looking at $1 million of earnings. How do we do that? So we're looking at businesses of 25 average size. That's kind of our average size is 25, 53 companies enrolled, right? 17,000. So we dropped it down a bit from 20 to 17,000. That would give you at 4.5% commission $1 million. Okay. But remember, I said there's a scale when it comes to commissions, right? They start at the 4%. But once you hit 5 million in volume, this is 22 million, you're at 6. 15 companies, 15 companies, right? 5 million in volume, you are now at 6%. So now this is probably more like 1.4 million, but let's not split hairs, right? We'll take the extra $400,000, right? So this is just the ERC, 17,000 per employee, 53 companies at 25 employees each. Okay. So let's look at a breakout here. So let's say we got our $1 million from those companies, those 53 companies, right? What happens if 15 of them, not even half, just a small percentage of them decide to do Champion Health, right? And they only 15 people are enrolled. And only 15, that's 62, that's $70,000 a year, 15 enrolled companies, right? If they do Insperity, if that one is with Insperity, chances are it's going to be a heads and tails situation. That's another 3,000. If they do Stream PC, it could be a different 15, right? Not the same 15. It could be different 15. That's another 6,000. If you get, this is probably super low on the loan side, 15,000, but another $15,000 of commission from loans, right? So what do we have? 15,006 a month from the residual, right? Plus the $1 million, we're at 1.2 million in revenue just from personal production, not team building. What happens if you team build? Well, you can team build here. You don't have to work yourself. You can build a team as many people as you'd like. If you have just one person, that's an additional 48,000. They only do 5 sales instead of 15. Just 5 ERCs. That's it. 25 each, 48 grand. If you've got 2, it's 96. 4, 8, 10, 20, 40. You can see how this can compound out tremendously. So here's the comp grid here. As I mentioned, at 6, you see it says 15 and 5 million. Once you've got 15 companies in, it goes up over time. You can see the numbers. If you get 10 and 4, you're at 5. If you get 15 and 5, you get 6. And then you can get an override on your team and you could be at 7 million, 7%. So there's tremendous amount, and this is just the ERC. Here's your diorama of everything. Now we're going to talk about the personal side. So we're with these business owners. You've gained their trust. You put money in their pocket. You've helped them lower their expenses, right? You've helped them become compliant. You've helped them with a lot of headaches that could come down the road. Now we're going to help them personally, right? When I talk to a business owner, I ask them a question that's just about stumps everybody. I get that look. What is your exit strategy? They're so busy building and they're so focused on growing their business, they don't think about what their exit strategy is. That's our job. That's my job. Okay. So do something today that your future self will thank you for. What do? We help people make money through building relationships based on mutual success. We help them, they help us, right? When we take them to the personal side of the platform here, right? We meet with them on, typically it's virtually, sometimes face to face. We get a snapshot of what their personal goals are. We kind of know what their business is going on, but how does that translate into their personal life, right? Then we review that with them, right? We onboard them as a client. We manage them. We do annual reviews, right? We gather the information. We go over ownership, transition of ownership of their business. That's the exit strategy, right? How do you build a comprehensive financial plan that they can grow into, right? As they go through life. We implement it, and then we just rinse and repeat for those individuals. So let's go back to those 15 business owners. Out of the 53, just 15 of those business owners decide they want to work with us. Many times we'll talk to someone who will get a check for hundreds of thousands of dollars, right, from the federal government. And they'll say, wow, this will never I had one lady that said, this will never happen again. What do I do with this money? I don't want to blow it. Okay, so let's look at what we can do for them. So here we go. We've got our average. This is what they're going to net. It's $340,000 after they pay their 20% contingency fee to to tax prep advocates who is going to do the tax side of it, right? 10%, the CPA firm gets 10 goes to the grid. You get up to 6, so you get 60% of the commission. You can get up to 6. That's pretty powerful there, right? So they got 340. What are we going to do with this 340, right? Well, for one thing, we can start a laser fund for them. We'll talk about that in a moment. $100,000 times 15 business, that's 75,000 of commission. And then a private pension with another 100,000. That's going to provide them with a self-funded pension that will last them their entire life when they're ready to retire. It's another $37,000 for a total of 112, right? On top of that, they're going to have a $15,000 a month. You're going to have a $15,000 a month residual. So another 112 on the 1.3. So now you're almost at $1.5 million, but typically you'll be at 1.8, 1.9 because you're 6% commission after 5 million in 15 businesses, right? It just goes up and up from there. So what is a laser fund? A laser fund is the most dynamic financial vehicle that the U.S. economy has ever seen. It provides the clients with liquidity, right? Whether they need money at the drop of a hat, they have the ability to take it from their laser fund. Safety from market fluctuations, market loss, and litigation, right? We live in a litigious society. A predictable rate of return, where they're not going to get surprised with a negative 40% tomorrow morning. And of course, outside of the tax code, right? Within this laser fund, whatever happens in the tax code, whatever Congress decides to do, whatever law they decide to pass or increase or go after, it makes no mind, it is outside the tax code. So what is a laser fund? A laser fund is quite simply a properly structured, maximum funded indexed universal life contract, also known as an IUL. And that's what we show to these business owners. Remember, Dreams Business Resources, what does the acronym stand for? Debt and money management, retirement, expense management, assets, and retaining employees, marketing, and security. And obviously, this works for you guys as business partners as well. And this whole thing is about not just multiple streams of income, but multiple streams of residual passive income, right? Pythagoras said, the numbers have a way of taking a man's hand and leading them down the path of reason. It's time that we walk down the path of reason, right? We already see what the numbers do. Now, if you're watching this video and you're not part of our organization, you can scan this QR code to get your Portable Dreams. You'll get websites and technology, landing pages, all kinds of cool stuff.